So you guys do, like you were saying, you do like the Dingus Day stuff up here in Cleveland.
Sure.
And where do you guys normally do that at?
We do that at
Southside.
the South Side in Tremont. And we've
Tremont.
played up there for quite a few years.
Something you do annually, and you
Yes.
go there and you do this every year.
Yeah.
They wait for you. You guys get a good draw up there and
Oh,
everything.
that's
Oh,
packed.
And Dingus Day is going to be this thing's going to actually be happening in like 2 days.
Yeah, the 10th.
The 10th, right? Because
Yeah.
this came out today on the 8th.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
the 9th, or whatever it is today. We never know
Yeah,
what
it's
day it
April
really
10th,
is today.
so we'll do Dingus Day,
Yeah,
April 10th,
day
up
after Easter.
at the South Side in Cleveland. It's in Tremont. And then on Friday, that's on Monday, and on Friday, we do a Dingus celebration at Lockport Brewery in Bolivar.
Oh, this is a busy week.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Level Up Cleveland. And this week we have something we've been promising you guys for a while. We got us a polka band in here. And I think we did even better. We got more than a polka band. You guys you're not just a polka band.
We do other stuff.
We got Visinata in here. And I just want to go over the guys that are here, and then we'll talk about the guys that aren't here
Sure.
for a second, and then we'll talk about Visinata.
Yeah.
Johnny Meyer,
Yes.
he does accordion,
Yep.
lead vocals,
Yep.
and he also
Keyboard.
does some keyboard playing
Yeah.
there too, when necessary, right?
Yep.
And we also have Joe Dirkseide. Joe Dirkseide.
There you go.
Some of these names are tougher than some of the other ones. But Joe, you play guitar. You
That's
also
right.
sing.
Yeah.
And some of the guys that aren't here. Steve Zaveski plays drums.
Yes.
And we have Paul Manipenny. He's a bass player. And Michael Hoagland is your sax, clarinet, wind stuff, and he's also a vocalist.
Yes.
So basically everybody sings except Steve. Would that
Paul
be correct?
doesn't sing
And
either.
Paul doesn't either.
Steve and Paul don't sing.
Are you guys like doing harmonies and stuff together? or-
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so when I introduce you as like a polka thing, but it's not necessarily what you guys. You're not pigeonholed into just polkas. You guys actually didn't even start off as a polka thing.
Well, we kind of did start off with Eastern European and polka music because we thought that would be a nice niche. And at the time, and we've been together 10, 12 years now, and at the time, everybody in the band had kind of an ethnic background of sorts, Romanian, Italian, Hungarian, whatever. And so we started playing that, and polkas kind of goes across the board with that. And we thought that would be, like I say, we thought that would be a good niche, which it is.
Yeah.
We've kind of branched out since then. We still do all that stuff, and we do a lot of Oktoberfest stuff where they want polkas. But we've added a lot of other stuff to it. We do Latin, we do big band, we do American standards, we do 50s and 60s rock.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, we're pretty diverse, and we're able to do whatever the audience wants from that perspective.
Basically, you guys are more out of the southern areas from Cleveland, not necessarily up north in Cleveland, but Stark County, like Canton, Massillon area, like
Yes.
that area stuff. You guys play a lot in that area. You guys do a lot of festivals and stuff like that too.
Sure we do. And we play a Dingus Day in Cleveland.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which is big. And the band, Joe here is from Wadsworth. I'm from Massillon. Paul's from Salem. Steve Zaveski's from here in Cleveland. He's from Seven Hills. And then Paul is from Salem. So we're kind of spread out.
How'd you guys find each other?
That's a good question. Sometimes we just put a little notice out there on the internet, hey, we're looking for this. We're looking for a guitar player. We're looking for a drummer. And we see who responds. And we say it's an established polka ethnic band. And, that's how we found Joe. And that's how we found Steve. And we've ended up with some pretty good musicians that way.
Do you guys? Is this something that you guys have like in you through the years you've now accumulated all these songs and all this music, or do you guys still have to like research some things since you're doing things that aren't necessarily American? You're doing things that are like European and stuff. So do you have to like research some of that and come up with new songs and new material, or do you guys just have this inside you and you know these?
Both.
Okay.
So some of it is stuff that the older guys in the band grew up with. Mike is Italian. Steve is Hungarian. I'm Romanian. So we have some of that background. And Mike and Paul in particular played a lot of polka bands over the years. So they have a lot of that inside them. And then Joe joins us, and Joe has a German background. So, we kind of combine all this, but, thanks to the internet, we can find music.
Yeah, right.
And it's one thing to find a chart. It's another thing to find the song. And we're able to do that. And, of course, if you can hear it and you can find the chart, then you can learn it.
Cool. So real quick, Johnny, you're the accordion player also.
Yes.
And I think, in my opinion, that kind of defines the music you're playing. If you don't have an accordion in there, it kind of doesn't sound like polkas and stuff like that, right? I mean, like that kind of gets, just as far as the sound goes.
Yeah, sure. You can do that with the keyboard too, but it's really the leads on this are the accordion and the sax.
Right.
And then right after that is a guitar. Now the guitar is used both as a filler and as a lead. And like if we're doing a lot of the 50s and 60s stuff, then we're depending on Joe a lot more for our leads.
Yeah, right.
Okay. If we're doing and with the accordion, now I'm the filler. Okay, I'm playing chords. If we're doing polkas and ethnic stuff, Joe ends up being the filler, and Mike and I end up being the leads. So it just depends on what genre you're playing.
Are you kind of a rock guitar player, or that's kind of like doing this kind of music more? Is that what you would say you are more?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I didn't grow up playing polka on guitar, but yeah, definitely grew up playing rock and that sort of thing. So yeah, when we're playing polka songs, I'm strictly playing rhythm, but it's fun because it's we got such a tight rhythm section, so it's really fun to lock in with these guys. But yeah, then on the 50s and 60s songs, of course, I'm playing more of the prominent part there, and that's right up my alley because I really enjoy that style.
Is that how you guys do this thing? Because like you were saying, you have a lot of different ethnic, different backgrounds in this band, different people. So for instance, you're German, but your background's kind of a rock thing.
Oh, I'm 100% American.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying. So when you guys are playing rock songs, are these usually songs that you bring to the table? I guess is what I'm saying.
Honestly, no. They've Johnny usually selects the songs, but I mean, there's songs I know. It's not like something.
But you have brought some to the table.
Yeah. I guess a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
So how do you go about deciding? I mean, I'm assuming, Johnny, this is your band. So this is so when a guy like Joe comes into the band, it's basically a decision that you're making to decide whether or not Joe's in the band or not.
We do it as a group. I don't want to be the one making the decision. We have some really good musicians in the band, and so I kind of lean on them. Joe and Mike and Paul and Mike in particular. They're outstanding musicians, and we were talking about that before we got on your podcast here, Joe and I, that how much we learned from those guys.
Oh, that's great.
You don't have to play the same instrument to learn, and so we learned from Mike and Paul quite a bit, and they do have a lot of band experience. And when Joe joined us, we were pretty excited because, to teach it, to learn how to do polkas and to learn the ethnic stuff from his perspective, he's a filler. He's playing a lot of chords and this kind of stuff, and he jumped right in there. So, and that's great. But then Joe has brought some songs with us. One we do by the Mavericks. You brought.
Oh yeah.
And a couple others. So, and then the 50s and 60s rock, it's pretty easy. And like I say, we do some American standards, we do some big band, and it just kind of depends where we play. For example, we play a couple times a year down at a place called the Lockport Brewery. They're down in Bolivar, Ohio, about an hour and a half south of Cleveland. Now, when they have us play, and when we play up in Cleveland for Dingus Day, we'll play a lot of polkas, but we'll throw some rock in there because we want to break it up.
I got you.
So we play at the Alibi Bar and Lounge in Massillon. We'll play a lot of rock, but we'll throw a couple polkas in.
I see. So
Yeah.
you play to your crowd. You play to your crowd.
Yeah,
too.
Right.
Yeah, and then because there's people that know us as a certain polka band or whatever, and then when they come, we don't want to let them down, but we've got to play to the crowd that's going to be there as well. What we found is whatever we're playing, people are having a good time. They're fun. It's good. They're good with it.
Well, that's what polka, that type of music, that's what it is.
It's kind of a
party
fun,
music.
It's
like,
fun music.
Yeah, it's music to drink by. It's music to dance by while you're drinking.
I was booking a gig one time, and the guy said, we're looking for a band for our beer tent area. He said, now, does polka music go with beer?
Oh, my gosh.
And I thought, most of the polka songs are written about beer.
drinking. That's what they're
They
singing
really are,
about.
right?
Yeah. Now, you guys all drinkers?
I am.
Well, Joe does, and you can talk about this. He's a brewer. He lives his own beer.
Are you?
Yeah, it's beyond a hobby. It's an obsession at my house.
Oh, so you make beer at the house?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, I brew beer at home. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean the polka band fits so well with kind of my vibe, I guess.
Now, would you consider yourself a brewmaster, or have you been schooled in this, or is this just like trial and error stuff that you've through the years?
Yeah, it's all trial and error.
Really?
I never had formal education in it, but I've been to Germany I think 7 times, so
Wow.
I'd call that field research at least.
Wow. And did you go to Germany for any other reason but to learn about beer?
A couple of the trips I was there like for work, but then I extended my stay and just enjoyed myself there. But and then some other times I just went there on my own. Yeah.
People love Germany.
Oh,
I don't know what it is, but anybody we've had on here that's been to Germany, they're like, it's the greatest. We love it.
Oh yeah, it's
The people there are just different, aren't they, man? It's a
yeah, definitely very outgoing and friendly, and I've always had a good time there. And the food is phenomenal. The beer is out of this world, and I think German bread doesn't get the credit it deserves.
Oh, and the bread too.
Yeah, everyone talks about French bread, but go to Germany and you'd just be blown away. It's good there anyway.
So I've been to Germany once.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And was there for 2 weeks on business. And I hear what you're saying. I mean, the food is phenomenal, but I've been to Romania twice. Food is phenomenal. People are phenomenal. I've been to Spain, been to Greece. And I think it's a European thing. It's a different culture, a little more laid back than we are. We're kind of a hurry-up culture.
Yeah.
And, the food is awesome. So
you guys are trying to bring that kind of vibe here when you guys are playing. So
absolutely.
Cool,
yeah, that's the main thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh yeah, I think one of our best gigs was like the Romanian festival that we did in August, and I've only been in the band, haven't even been in the band a year, so I've got 1 year's worth of gigs under my belt. But yeah, definitely the Romanian festival that we did in Canton, and that was just because of that. It felt like the food was great there. It just had this great vibe. A lot of people that are probably born in Romania were there. So I mean, it was cool to be part of that and kind of have that culture there for a day.
yeah, you guys like the one thing about this kind of music too. That's kind of I could see how it would lend itself to like food gets lumped into this as well, right? Like this isn't just a party because of the ethnic situations. You're going to have different food that gets mixed in with this also. That's cool.
Yeah.
That makes it even more of a party.
Right. We've played Romanian festivals. We've played Italian festivals. We've played, other ethnic festivals. And, the food and the beer and everything goes right along with that.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's supposed to be fun. And when we do, you talked about the Romanian festival, we played Romanian music. We had to learn it. And then we threw some polkas in, which is sort of ethnic, and we threw some rock and roll in, and people liked it all.
Yeah, and you guys don't just play live. I mean, you guys actually have some CDs out. You guys have actually recorded
We've
a couple
had a
CDs?
couple CDs. No, we haven't done them in a while, and we need to.
No,
to
but
get
I mean,
back and
yeah,
do
but it's not just a band that's going out playing live and just
Sure.
doing that. You guys take this to that other level too, where you went into a studio and
Sure.
and recorded some songs. Those were the days. You did that one, and you did Meet Visinata. Those are the two CDs you guys got.
Sure.
And can people are those on like just streaming platforms and stuff like that, or do you
They're
guys,
not. They're not. And now that we have Joe in the band, we might do that because he's
somebody
a
that
little
can get you there?
we need younger guys for that. That's above my pay grade. But
I don't know anything about it, but I guess,
Oh,
I
I
can
mean,
learn.
yeah, I mean, like you should put them up there
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I mean, that's why people.
well, we did. What we did was we had a bunch of them printed up, and so we would sell them at our gigs, and we ran out.
Oh, really? They sold that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good though. That's a
Tens
good
of
thing.
hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah, tens of hundreds. Hey, man, you sell 4 of them. That's more than some people ever could.
We probably sold. I would say between the two, we sold several hundred CDs.
That's cool.
And honestly, I got some requests for the CDs from Romania, people I knew in Romania, and I would send them over there, and we want to hear the CD, and then. We were able to distribute them, throughout northeastern Ohio, and a lot of people at our gigs were purchasing them, and they were inexpensive. We were selling them for like $10, and so it was nice. And we got the CDs out to some of the radio stations that did polka music and what have you, and so it helps to promote the band.
Now, are you guys playing other like songs that have already been written and then doing your version of these songs, or are these songs that you're writing new?
We are playing songs that have already been written, and we play our version of it, but we try to keep somewhat original. We did write a polka this last year. It's called the Lockport Polka, and that was written by Paul Penny, and then I did the vocals on it. I wrote the vocals. Joe sings the vocals, and it's a really nice polka. And we wrote that because there's the Lockport Brewery that we play at a couple times every year, and a couple of young kids own the brewery. I say young kids. It's a married couple in their early 30s, and they started this brewery and started having us play there, and it was such a great atmosphere. And these people struggled, and now they're going great guns.
Oh, that's great.
And so as a tribute to them, and they supported us, we supported them. We wrote this Lockport Brewery, and so that's an original with us. We haven't recorded it yet, but we're gonna do that.
So when you say you wrote the lyrics and he sings them, how does that decision come about? You guys,
He's a better singer.
is that what it comes down to?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like when we practiced it, we kind of had to refine the words.
Yes.
As I recall,
And Joe really participated in that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of, when we wrote it, this seemed to fit, and then as we were trying to play it, we needed to change some of the words a little bit to make it fit a little better.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I mean, it's no big deal to sing Johnny's song. I don't feel like I'm stealing it from him. I don't think he
not
feels
at
like
all.
we're all
No, I'm
pretty
just
cool.
curious how does the decision come about?
Oh.
And another question I have, especially when you guys are both playing your instrument and singing, that's tough. You know what I mean? That's not always easy, and it's not everybody can do.
Oh, for sure.
But was it something that was easier for you guys, or did you have to work at it? Was it something that you had to actually like work out, or did it come naturally?
No, it definitely doesn't come naturally. It's hard to. It's like walking and chewing gum,
Yeah, right. It is.
But I think most musicians who sing and play, I mean,
There's a lot. There's a
gotta
lot.
be a
But
thing.
I've toyed around with trying to do stuff like that. I was like, this is crazy, man.
It's really harder for me. I have to really work at it because when you're playing the accordion, I mean, think about this. You've got a keyboard on one side. You've got 120 black buttons over here that you can't see.
Is that how many there are?
That's a
120?
mystery to
120.
me.
And each one's a note, right? It's just like on a keyboard.
Well, there's several rows. The first 2 rows are bass buttons, and after that it's chords. So you get you get your bass, and then you get your major, minor, seventh, and so on. And so there's 120 buttons. They're all 119 of them are the same. There's one that's different, and you have to find that one to know where the other ones are.
Oh my goodness!
So when you're playing that, and then you're playing the right hand, and you're trying to sing, to me, I have to work at it, and I don't mind singing. I don't think I'm a great singer. I'm okay, depending on the song and the range. With this a Lockport polka that we do, I'll jump in and sing with him sometimes, but that's his song to sing because he's got a better voice for that song.
I got you. That's what I was kind of getting at. Do you guys do that? Do you guys kind of pay attention to the point where you're like, no, you sound better here.
Sure.
This is more your lane.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are also involved in this Arts and Stark thing.
Years ago, we received a grant from Arts and Stark.
Now, how does that work? How did that work? Did you have to apply for this
Yes.
grant? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you applied.
This was before Joe was with us, but we applied for this grant from Arts and Stark, and Arts and Stark is a great organization. So we applied for this grant and to do our first CD, and they gave us $500 to work with. And the whole point of that was we wanted to maintain and help preserve the polka music and the ethnic music. And Stark County, like much of northeastern Ohio, has a lot of roots with Eastern European and ethnic people. A lot of immigrant Italians and Romanians and Greeks and Hungarians and Slovaks and what have you immigrated here in the early 1900s to work in the steel mills and the rubber plants and what have you. And they were recruited from Europe because we needed workers. So there were all these immigrants that came over. And, of course, they had their own churches, and that's where they kept their culture and their traditions alive. Over the decades that have passed, people intermarry. You have a strong Italian or Romanian family, but, someone decides they're going to marry a girl that's not that. And so, that begins to assimilate.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little tougher to keep the culture.
I got you.
To keep the language, to keep the food. And so through our music, we wanted to try to do some of that. Okay, I look at, like, when we play at the Romanian Festival, it's at the Romanian Byzantine Catholic Cathedral in Canton. It used to be, prior to World War II, that you had a boatload of Romanians coming over every week, and that filled up your church. Well, that has stopped. After World War II, that stopped. And, of course, Romania and most of those Eastern European countries were behind the Iron Curtain, so you didn't have that influx. And so you had the assimilation going on, and less involvement and less continuing of maintaining the culture.
Right.
So, we tried to do that. And I tried to do that personally in our family to maintain, that culture. My wife is Greek. I'm Romanian. So we eat well.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break.
Sure.
And we'll come back here in a couple minutes, talk with the guys from Visinata when we come back.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. It's DJ Terry from the Homegrown Hit Show on 216 Beat Radio with your list of rockin' events for the week. First, it's Brian Allen Hager. It's Wednesday, April 12th at the winery at Wolf Creek. And then on Saturday, April 15th, he's at Quarry Hill Vineyards. And then Friday, April 14th, it's Grunge DNA, and they're at Smedley's Bar and Grill in Cleveland. Whatever you do, keep supporting local music and tune in on Monday nights for your Homegrown Hit Show party with me, DJ Terry. I'm out.
Hello, Cleveland. I am ZM Delgado, author of the Rust Belt Rock Review at ZachO'Lantern.com, and this is your weekend concert calendar update. First on our agenda, Friday the 14th at the Grog Shop, it's the Bouncing Souls. With them, they're bringing in Anti-Flag, Wilhelm Scream, and the Venomous Pinks. Second on our weekend agenda, Saturday the 15th at No Class, it's Atomic Witch. In support, they've got Vile Light, Goat Chamber, and Mulciber. Finally, closing out the weekend, Sunday the 16th at the Foundry, it's the Stereotypes. With them, it's Tallgrass and Girl Cologne. So there you have it, Cleveland. We've got a stacked weekend ahead of us, and I hope to see you out there. Until next time, rock on, Rust Belt.
And we are back with the guys here from Visinata, Johnnie and Joe. And we were just talking about the Arts and Stark grant that you guys received, and the idea was to preserve some of these cultures
Sure.
and stuff that you guys, because that's kind of what you guys are doing, whether you're trying to or not. That's what
Right.
you're doing. Do you feel like you've made a difference? I mean, do you feel like do you feel like, do people come up to you and say things to you like, man, you guys, this made me think differently, or this has kind of brought a new light to me that I didn't realize.
We've had a lot of people over the years that have come up to the band when we're done playing and say, I remember this kind of music, or, my parents used to dance to this, or, boy, I remember hearing this on Sunday radio. And, so we've gotten a lot of feedback like that, or, boy, this brings back a lot of old memories, because we play a lot of older stuff,
Right.
okay? We like to kind of bring in some new, but that's our shtick is this older stuff that, quite frankly, some of the guys in the band, myself, Mike, Steve, that we grew up with, okay, that our parents listened to or we listened to, we do get a lot of that.
Yeah, and like, I'm sure a lot of people realize that this area is synonymous with the whole polka scene and everything.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, like this, we are known for that.
Well,
We were, at least at one time.
Well, listen, there's a Polka Hall of Fame in Cleveland. Oh. A lot of people don't know that. I've never been there. Okay.
Maybe we'll go there today.
Yeah, maybe we'll go there. But, and there's, every year they have like a big annual celebration with this Polka Hall of Fame. And our saxophone player, Mike Hoagland, was asked to play in the All-Star Band one year there. And so, Cleveland's got all these Hall of Fames, and the Polka Hall of Fame is one of them.
Yeah, well, and that makes total sense.
Sure.
That makes total sense
Yeah.
because polka was bigger than bigger here. I mean, I don't know if it's bigger than rock, but what it was is, as far as polka goes, this was a hub. This was like considered where a lot of the polka was
Well,
coming.
Frank Yankovic, who's like synonymous with polka, and we play some of his stuff. He's from Cleveland,
Right.
and there was a lot of guys that were from Cleveland that made it big in that, and I think part of the reason is that Cleveland's an ethnic city.
Yeah, right. You have just it is. There's so many different
You know,
places people came from at one point, especially
Sure.
because of the steel mills and stuff like that
Absolutely.
for jobs, and it created this whole thing. You had Slavic Village forever over there on Fleet Avenue. I don't know if you guys are familiar with
Sure.
that, but that was a huge ethnic thing. And when they'd have that festival over there, that was why you went there, was because you were getting that culture
Sure.
and all that kind of thing. Still, I think they still do the festivals.
Oh,
over there.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And, there's a Ukrainian village over in Parma. And
Oh yeah.
of course,
Oh yeah,
my-
the Ukrainian village
Yeah.
over there too on Ridge.
Yes.
Over by Ridge Road and Snow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's down State Street. And,
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's another place. Well, Parma again is another real big Polish
Absolutely.
type of a thing where you a lot of that food, you can get all the pierogies you want in Parma. You really can. I mean,
Yes.
I lived there. That was the best part of it, was the food.
Yeah,
Sure.
I love Parma.
Yeah.
So you guys, first you play guitar and it's guitar is one of them things a lot of people pick up and they play, and it's understandable why. But the accordion's a little different. I'm first of all, I'm curious, were you a key player first and then you went to the accordion, or were you an accordion player first?
Accordion player first, and I always tell the story that, I was raised in an ethnic family. Okay, all my grandparents came from Romania, and my parents spoke Romanian. And I could speak a little, but one day my dad who was a police officer. He said, "Would you like to learn an instrument?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "What do you want to learn?" I said, "Guitar." Okay, so he bought me an accordion. So that's kind of an ethnic instrument. So I learned to play the accordion, and quite frankly, by the time I got to high school, it wasn't cool to be playing the accordion. That was kind of a uncool thing to do. So then I switched over to keyboard. Now, my problem with keyboard, for me, we were talking about this today, is I didn't know what to do with my left hand. I'm not trained in the left hand. So how did I compensate then? I compensated by teaching myself chord structures for the left hand.
Oh.
And then I could play lead and I could play chord structures on the left hand. What that did for me later on coming back to the accordion was I could add those chord structures on my right hand now. So it made me better at that. And I still have my combo organ that I played in high school and college with some rock and roll bands. I have a keyboard that I would use since then. The combo organ's kind of antiquated. There's not the bells and whistles on that. But, that's what I did. I had put the accordion away and hadn't played it for well over 30 years.
Oh.
Yeah. And
were you playing keys at least through this time
I wasn't
at all?
playing anything. I was involved in, earning a living and being involved in what I'm involved in. And I had a son in college and daughter in high school. And I had taken this accordion to a guy over in Canton. I'd found it. It was under my basement steps, which is the worst place you could store an accordion. And I took it to this Hungarian guy. I said, "Hey, can you fix this up? My dad bought this for me. I just want to kind of set it somewhere nice in the house." So I went, and of course, he wasn't a guy you could just drop the thing off with. I had to spend 2 or 3 hours with him and play 6 or 7 different accordions. True story. So then when I came home, after he fixed this accordion, and I came home with 2 accordions, because he sold me one while I was there. And I just said, you know what? I was older. I was going to start playing it. So I brought it home, and my wife says, "How'd it go?" I'm in the kitchen. I start playing the accordion. My kids are upstairs. They both come running down the steps. Neither one knew I could play the accordion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just decided, I was going through a tough, stressful time in my life with work and everything. And I decided I'm going to just start playing this. I know it's kind of nerdy, but, you get to a certain point in life and, I say, who cares?
Right.
I was, getting into be 60.
Fun is fun after a while, right, man?
And, somebody would say, "Hey, you played the accordion," they'd start laughing. I'd say, "Yeah, what do you play?"
Yeah, exactly. It's
What
true.
do you play?
It's a great story. It's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. And so, I had fun, and I told my kids, my family, I said, "I'm starting a band." Yeah, whatever. You start a band when you're 16, not when you're 60. And so we started the band.
It's never too late, man.
Yeah,
it's never too late.
And I remember this young guy come over. I was 65, and he wanted to marry my daughter, and he has his own band. And he said, "How cool is this? My father-in-law at 65 plays in a band, and we get more gigs." And he says, "How do you get all these gigs?" And you got to work at it. You just got to pick up the phone and stuff. So we've been through some metamorphosis on this, and in terms of people in the band, and we've had several guitar players and several drummers, and we're kind of where we're at right now, and it's good. It feels good, and I like all the guys in the band, and they're all good musicians, and Joe's a good musician, and the thing that I like about Joe the most is he didn't grow up with some of the same stuff we did, but he works at it. He works real hard at it, and he wants to learn it, and he looks it up on YouTube, and he'll ask for the charts, and he comes prepared, and he adds a lot to the band, and we appreciate that.
And when you're not somebody necessarily, that what probably changes some things also is if you were constantly in this mode where this is what you did always up to this point, you probably wouldn't add to what you probably can because you have outside influences that kind of like bleed in no matter what you try. Sure. You can't get rid of that. Yeah. So that probably helps add to this whole entire thing.
Adds a lot.
Gives you a different a uniqueness to the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you now? When do you pick up the guitar, and how does that all start off?
Goodness. Yeah, I think I started when I was 6. Yeah, I took piano lessons for a year when I was 5. Then picked up. My parents got me a guitar at 6, so I switched over to that, and so I've been playing for a while. But I've got kids. I went to college. Kind of same as Johnny, there was a lull there where
life happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
But I got to a point where, I was looking on Craigslist, looking at whatever's out there for musicians and stuff. And I could have joined like a classic rock cover band and been playing the CD bar scene every weekend. And like there's a ton of those ads. And then I saw this one, a polka band. I was like, that sounds interesting. It says they play breweries, they play festivals. It's like, I got three young daughters. And so it's like, it's nice to be able to play at gigs that I can bring the family to.
Yeah, a little more wholesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But and now that I'm in it, it's like these guys are phenomenal musicians. Paul on bass. We were talking about him on the way here. He's just a master at bass. But I mean, I guess back to like how as far as my guitar playing and all that, I've always enjoyed like the pioneers of rock and roll, like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry and that. And so like, that's something that when we play these 50s and 60s songs, that's right up my alley. I really enjoy that. And so, the polka songs, they're fairly straightforward for the most part. The rhythm was the hardest part that, for me, that I had to kind of figure out.
Different than rock is sort of, so you had to like.
It's almost like a fast-paced reggae rhythm, to be honest. It's like the guitar's playing on the offbeat. And so I had to like figure that. You talked about like learning to sing and play. That was the hardest part, was like that my hand's doing it.
Your brain wanted to do something else, and you had to not do that.
And I'm playing this offbeat rhythm the whole time. And so like that, I kind of had to reprogram myself. But now, and we got Steve, a drummer. He's phenomenal. I can lock in so tight. He's got these tight snare hits, and I just lock in with him on those. But the guys in the band, they're phenomenal musicians. Mike on sax, like improvises. He fills the gaps so well, just like with just this ability to improvise and just pick up where we're playing and just fill in. And so it's just great to be with such a high level of musicianship.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah,
that helps when everybody really knows what they're doing and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys now? Do you find that when you guys are playing out, and like especially like in your situation, because you've already pronounced that you like to drink beer.
Yeah.
Right. When you're doing like the breweries and stuff like that, do things ever get a little out of hand?
No.
Never. I mean, I'm just.
Not in a bad way.
I mean, I guess that's not what I'm saying. Where the drinking can
sure.
lead to all kinds of crazy events and stuff like that. Where when you guys are leaving the gig, you guys are like, well, that was a blast. Like that was anything stands out, like where you guys were just kind of like.
To be honest, I mean, nothing's gotten out of hand, but people, obviously, it gets more enjoyable as the night goes on.
Of course, right.
Especially at that Romanian festival. Well, I didn't want to stop playing there. People were really getting into it. Everybody was dancing, and that was one of the best times. We did an Oktoberfest in New Franklin, and we had this the dancing groups from
the German American.
The German American Family Society. They were there doing their own thing, and then they would come and dance while we were playing. So as far as like people getting drunk and out of hand, not really. But what's the most memorable experiences are when people are really into it, and they're just being part of it as much as we are.
Do people request songs to you guys? Like, do they know, like, so these people that are coming, they know polka, they know the songs, and they're asking you guys.
Well, they'll request stuff too.
You guys know a lot of songs. I mean, can you guys accommodate most everything? See, when you have great musicians in the band, sometimes they can just figure it out right there on the fly.
Yeah,
some of these guys,
it's
man.
better if we practice.
Well, I agree.
It is. But we have a playlist. I mean, when we learn a song, we add it to our list. Okay, this is what we can do. And we have probably 250, 300 songs on our playlist.
Wow. That's a lot.
We don't use them all the time.
I know, but that's still a hell of a pull to pull for you.
But, because we are so diverse in that, we got everything from 50s and 60s to Serbian cola, okay? Wow. So, and we do a cola as our break song.
What's a cola? Explain that to people who don't know what a cola is.
A cola it's kind of like a fast circle dance, and so we'll do this cola da 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 bra, ba, 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 da, and then we'll play this, and everybody gets up and dances to this thing if they don't even know what it is, and then we speed it up. and we speed it up again.
Noticeably, you guys are like
Oh,
accelerating.
yeah. We're
cool.
accelerating, and people have a great time. So. But it's a diversity of music because we want to be able to add some things in. We don't want to play the same thing over and over again either. So, we have quite a bit of songs that we can choose from. Again, we don't use them all the time.
Well, no, I mean, and you guys probably have your go-to songs that you play
for
every
sure.
time that people expect.
Sure,
type
we
thing.
probably have maybe there's about 50 songs that we really choose.
How long do you guys usually play out for? Like, what's a normal
About
gig?
3 hours.
So you guys are like doing 3 sets basically?
Yeah.
Is how you're doing it?
Yeah.
Now, I'm getting the vibe from both of you that this kind of is your first band. Would you say that's correct, or did you play in bands before this?
Yeah, I had a band in high school and like a rock band, first polka band. I got it.
Right, but I mean, you have been in bands in general.
Yeah.
And this is
I've had several bands. I had bands in high school and college.
Okay, so you guys did do all that stuff too.
Yeah.
Do you find that it's like still very difficult to keep a band together, or have you guys found the right group of guys where? Because I mean, you guys are aware, like obviously, that sometimes keeping a band together isn't the easiest thing in the world to do. Yeah. It's a relationship, and they're hard to maintain.
They are. It is, and we've had. I would say this with our band, we haven't had. There's one occasion we had. There was a guy that just did not fit in. Okay, and it was before Joe was here, and he just didn't fit in, and it was a relationship issue, and it was a struggle at practice. It was a struggle when we played. And that went on for about a year or so, and then but other than that, we've had, one of the early guys in our band that played bass was, before Paul, was a guy named Ron Fraley. Now, Ron could play bass, he could play rhythm, but then he moved. He decided he was retired. He went to Florida. Well, it was.
They don't play polkas in Florida.
Well, they actually do, but it was quite a commute.
Yeah, right.
First he moved to Newark, Ohio, and then he moved to Florida, and so when he was in Newark, he was still traveling to play with the band. But so we've had those kind of situations. But I think we have a great
nucleus of people, like a great.
Oh yeah, well, and like back to Ron, who had moved to Florida. That was one of the things that was so great about the Romanian Festival. He was back in Ohio, and he came to see us at the Romanian Festival, and he got up and sang a couple songs with us. It was just like I'd never met the guy before coming on stage with us.
So kind of like a slight reunion type thing for
exactly.
a second there.
And then he talked to you quite a bit.
Yeah, we got to hanging out, and super nice guy. But that's the thing. I think our band probably, because of the age, maybe, I don't know, but it seems like a very mature group that everybody's pretty level-headed. We all know we got lives. We work to accommodate. Everyone communicates pretty well, and it's nice, and it's not just band time that we hang out. Like, for example, over Christmas break, I went over to Steve the drummer's place, and we just jammed on some rock and roll. It's not like polka is our life or whatever. Steve.
Yeah, no, right.
Steve. Honestly, if I'm listening to music, I never listen to polkas, and I did today because there's a polka show on Saturday. Yeah. So I do occasionally, if there's a polka show on, I'll listen to that. Just to kind of pick up some ideas. But for my own personal stuff, I listen to jazz all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love jazz.
Do you ever play jazz?
A little bit, but it's and there's jazz. There's jazz accordion players, but I always love jazz because I think those are the best musicians.
Well, yeah.
So it's just we're not tied into this. We like it. It's good stuff. It's fun to play.
But it doesn't define us.
Yeah.
Do you ever realize that like a jazz moment appeared on a song that you were writing?
We did. You know what? Here's the closest we get to it, I guess, because we play some American standards, and one of the songs that we play is "All of Me."
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and there we get pretty close to playing. We play that in a pretty jazzy style, and I'm all up and down the keyboard on that accordion, and
it's just got the rhythm to it. It's got a real jazzy feel. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fun. I don't know if you know this song. I didn't know it before. I think Michael Bublé covered it. Is it who
he
did
may
it
have
originally?
covered it. I don't know. It's Sinatra probably or
Bennett
or one of them. They probably all covered it at one time, but.
You meant I mentioned Michael Bublé, and that probably can get a frame of reference there.
Yeah, right. Like Bublé does like almost like a Sinatra type thing.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah. So you guys do like you were saying you do like the Dingus Day stuff up here in Cleveland,
Sure.
and where do you guys normally do that at?
We do that at
Southside.
the South Side in Tremont.
Oh,
And we've
Tremont.
played up there for quite a few years.
Something you do annually, and you
Yes.
go there and you do this every year.
Yeah.
They wait for you. You guys get a good draw up there. And
Oh,
everything.
that's
Oh,
packed.
And Dingus Day is going to be this thing's going to actually be happening in like 2 days.
Yeah, the 10th.
The 10th, right? Because
Yeah.
this came out today on the 8th.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
the 9th, or whatever it is today. We never know
No,
what
it's
day it
April
really
10th,
is today.
so we'll do Dingus Day,
Yeah,
April 10th,
day
up
after Easter.
at the South Side in Cleveland. It's in Tremont. And then on Friday, that's on Monday, and on Friday, we do a Dingus celebration at Lockport Brewery in Bolivar.
Oh, this is a busy week.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Do you guys now, is this like a week that usually at the end of this week, you guys are pretty done, exhausted? Like you guys are like,
Honestly, we're just getting started.
getting ready
Yeah,
to
we
go.
just get
Well, that's
started.
Yeah.
firing up the year, right?
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
because you guys don't seem like you play a lot at this time of the
Yeah,
year,
it's
right?
kind of-
When it's real
kind of
cold
a
like
dead
this.
zone.
Yeah, you have a
January, February, March, we don't really play much. If we play once, that's a lot. We start in April and really go into December.
Yeah. That's
And,
cool.
Yeah.
And you guys, because you guys are doing a lot of outdoor stuff too, right? Like that's part of the reason. A lot of stuff outside. Doesn't that make this band cool?
Oh, yeah.
Like to me, that would make this band even more cool that you guys get a lot of outdoor events because I think those are way more fun.
Yeah.
We do. We played at Lake Anna in Barberton. We're going to play this year at the Swiss Festival in Sugar Creek. We're playing 2 days down there.
Oh,
and that's a big deal. That's a huge, huge outdoor festival. And if you've never been to Sugar Creek, it's down in Amish country.
I was just gonna say, like, do you get a lot of the Amish people coming to
There'll
see
be
you
Amish,
guys?
but there'll be others too because it's a kind of a touristy place. It's a tourist attraction, and it's a big festival. And as I say, we're going to be there for 2 days. We'll be at Lockport Brewery in Bolivar. We'll be at Lake Anna in Barberton, and we'll be in
Franklin
Massillon, New Franklin, right on the lake.
That's a
We
beautiful
play.
setting.
It's gorgeous, and it's a great time there. So we play. We play. Usually we have 15 to 20 bookings, and that's enough. That's what we want to do.
for the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, to be honest, by the time we do our Christmas show in Massillon, like at least last year,
Sure.
by that point it's like, yeah, I'm ready for a break.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, so it's to help you guys also, not
Yeah.
just because of the season or whatever
Sure.
it is. It's just all right. It's time for.
Well, we'll do a
Yeah.
Christmas show in Massillon at the Alibi Lounge, and that's usually like a week before Christmas. And we'll do a lot of rock and roll. We'll do Christmas songs that are upbeat Christmas songs, that you
Jingle
can
Bell
dance
Rock.
to, Jingle Bell Rock, and that.
Oh,
kind
I
of
see.
stuff.
I see.
And then we'll throw a few polkas in. We play the Lockport polka wherever we go. 'Cause
That's
we
a
wrote it.
staple?
That's
Since
ours.
it's ours, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like, how many songs do you guys play that are originals usually in a set? Is that the only
far
one?
one.
That's it.
That's the
it.
one.
Yeah,
We're
that's
working on it.
Yeah. So do you guys do that? Do you work on original stuff like stuff? Do you guys still? How is
Well,
that?
a lot of the songs that we do, we make our own. Okay?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and that in itself takes some work, right?
Sure.
Because you got to rearrange some things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're doing
We'll make our own, and we'll put some medleys together.
Oh, really? You do that also? That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
fun. Yeah.
Do you guys usually play with other bands also, or when you guys play, is it just you guys?
Sometimes we play with other bands. Like we have a gig in Louisville later this year. I think it's in September.
That's
And
Ohio, Louisville, Ohio.
Louisville, Ohio.
Yeah,
Not Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville.
Louisville, Ohio. So we have a gig in Louisville that we'll do, and there's a band that plays before us, and then we play.
Okay.
So
So you guys are the headliners.
you got it. Yeah,
Big time.
we'll take that. Yeah,
How long do you think you guys are going to keep doing this?
good question. Till we don't. I don't know.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that so you guys are just no? So right
I
now,
guess if it doesn't become fun anymore,
that's the answer, right? That is the
That's it.
answer.
I'm
That's
having a
awesome.
good time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, listen. So Things Days in a couple days, you guys will be playing down at Tremont.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for that. You guys have gigs all year.
yeah.
Mostly though, like I said, mostly down in the Canton, Massillon.
And Massillon,
Stark County.
Summit and Stark
Summit.
and Tuscarawas counties. We played up in Mahoning County, and
Oh yeah.
we'll
Out a little
travel.
more east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our best bet's our Facebook page. anyone wants to figure out where we're playing next. Our website's not exactly up to date, but my wife's been keeping up on the Facebook page. So
We're going to put her on the website too, so she can keep up with that.
oh, okay.
Two more things I want to get out real quick.
Right on.
Number one, Visinata. What does that mean?
Visinata is a Romanian word for homemade sour cherry brandy.
I saw that and I thought, what a specific thing to sour cherry, not just
Sour
cherry,
cherry. Oh, it
is
sour
good.
cherry.
I make it, but listen, it's the sour cherry brandy. They make it at home, and they use sour cherries to make it. You can make it out of other fruits, but Visinata is the one with the sour cherries. It's very sweet, but it packs a punch.
Well,
Like
brandy can pack a punch in general.
Like the band, sweet, we pack a punch.
The other thing I wanted to say was thanks to Chris Vidler, because he actually set this all up for us from Brute Squad when he was in here. He helped us make this all happen. Thank you, Chris, for that. I appreciate that. And I think that's it for us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this was fun, man. You guys were great. This was awesome. I appreciate it. Keep an eye out for these guys, man. We finally got the polka band. This was a good one, too. It was fun. You guys are a good time.
Thanks.
All right, guys. We're going to see you guys next week. We'll see you.
Peace out.
That'll be fine.